News Now, California, out at the United States Post Office in Bakersfield. I'm out here with San Joaquin Valley Transparency.
Can I help you guys?
No thanks. No.
Why are you guys videotaping?
Just doing a little news story.
Okay. Who you guys with?
We're just independent news journalists doing a story on where our tax dollars go and the post office.
Okay. We can't have you guys videotaping anymore.
You can't?
No, sir.
You're familiar with Poster 7 or DHS memo?
No, sir.
You're not familiar with that?
No. No.
You want us to point out the post, the memo you have on your wall that allows this?
Sure.
You know where your postal 7 is located?
I do not. No.
You know where your
You guys can't film in here.
Do you know where your postal 7 is?
Hold it. Hold it. Stop.
What's the matter?
You can't film in
Are you
here.
okay?
Where are
We
you?
didn't authorize this. This is very disrespectful of you.
No.
But it's not against the law. It's not against the law.
No,
Here's your poster.
We don't mean no disrespect. We're just covering a story, and it's our First Amendment right to do so. There's 2010 DHS memo that came out saying that we're allowed to record anywhere in public. The poster 7, it'll explain what we're talking about.
I know you have a sign somewhere where you guys can't record.
Yeah, as long as we don't record anybody's personal information and stuff like that. And we know what we're doing. We did our homework before we came out here and stuff, so.
There you go.
Every day.
So, sir, do you know where the poster 7 is located?
Okay, mister, you have not been authorized to film, so kindly...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we have.
I have.
No, you're not authorized to film.
by
it.
the
I
Department
did
of
not
Homeland
authorize it.
Security.
I did not authorize
But
it.
the Department of Homeland
And I'm
Security
not
did.
obligated to answer
Your policy does not trump my
Well, we're
rights.
not asking you questions.
Okay, your rights are one thing.
You're on federal property.
No, but
Yeah, we know that. We know we're on federal property. We have the DHS. You guys follow under Department of Homeland Security, and they
What
published.
agency do you guys work for?
Well,
When
are
you
you
work
going to
for
interrupt me?
agencies?
I was trying to explain
just asking
something.
'cause you're-
Well, no, you're interrupting me. I was trying to tell you because you question what we're doing. If you
Yeah.
want me to finish, I'll be glad to do it. But if you want to interrupt me, then we can't have a.
Don't put this on YouTube, okay? Because you have no authorization to film me and put me on YouTube.
Anything that we can see in public accessible areas, it's,
No.
yeah, we can.
Yeah. So would you like me to just explain for your
No,
edification?
I don't want to listen to it. I don't want to listen. You need to
We have
stop. You need-
customers here, sir.
That's okay,
Customer to
we can
help
film
you.
the customer if you
Okay,
like,
that's
we're-
fine,
we're-
but-
But we're gonna respect your
Sir,
customer, we're not gonna do
You're
that.
next. Okay.
We're just here to educate you all though.
Presumptuous. And again,
Give him your bag. So here she called the police. This is signature online. This is the receipt if you need the return type for approval from the Okay, just write to the
well, Mr. Wheaton, we have interlopers here, but if you would like to be waited on, come on down.
Okay.
Is address send it to you?
So even if people are for myself, don't want to
To make sure that we're able to go in public in accessible areas is the DHS.
Can you
memo
please
that
stop
allows
the
us to do
camera?
that. So, our rights, the First Amendment rights, trumps any policy from any installation that has a contract with citizens, yeah, private citizens, yeah. So we actually have our right to use that. We respect everybody. Have fun.
And nevertheless, what they're doing is trespassing. They are doing this without any authorization.
Alright, thank you. Alright, you guys are more than free to videotape all you want.
Thank
Just don't
you.
disturb any of my customers.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, we're
Honestly,
not
we
just-
don't mean no disrespect, brother. It's
Yeah, yeah.
we're just educating all ourselves as private citizens, the police force, and all federal employees. We're making
Alright.
sure that everybody understands that that everybody needs to understand what we're doing. First Amendment rights, protected activity.
Right.
I agree.
The second guy that got have a 6'8" and a backward 6 on his chest with a sweat.
That's my
I mean,
job,
with-
you know?
Right.
My job
That's
is
a
to.
sweatshirt with jeans on.
Right.
And they're pointing the camera.
So your employee right now is calling the police, which is fine. You know, they're gonna show up. You're aware of that then, huh?
Black
Yeah,
sweatshirt.
I'm aware of that.
Yeah. So they're gonna come.
The number
And
6'8",
you're not the postmaster,
then a
are you?
No, I'm
backward
just
6
supervisor right now.
Right.
The terrorism that was
I told you, Miss Galicia will bring it. That's the one in the orange.
You know what I mean?
You have one of those sleeve vests. type.
Yeah, orange sleeve vest.
Yeah, with
Orange.
checkered shirt.
Tell them I'm very good looking.
I told her you was old.
Old?
Yeah.
I could be older than you.
There's no need to be alarmed.
Their description.
There's no need to be alarmed.
Actually, I can recite the First Amendment and I'll wager you
So
can't.
they're sending
Okay,
them.
but there's no need to be alarmed, and if you would like to use
Actually,
to educate
there's
yourself a
ample
little
room
bit.
to be annoyed because this is very rude and very intrusive of you.
Everywhere you go, there's cameras.
And enough of your, no more
Everywhere you
lecturing.
go, there's cameras.
else, please.
We're not lecturing you, sir. We're not lecturing you.
Just
How old are you ever? How
You
the
wanna shut it down?
presumptuousness of you.
Presumptuous?
You know the word, right?
That's a dance
It's
move.
called paranoia. That's the word.
That's a dance move.
Look at you, man. You're shaking, you're paranoid, but I tell you what.
We
I
have
apologize.
no ill
That's
intent.
harassment what you're doing to him.
It is.
No,
It truly
I'm trying to educate
is. No,
you guys.
you're
If
not
you have the
educating the
decency.
man. You're not educating him when you're telling him that he's
Let-
paranoid. That's
Okay,
harassment.
sir, I have this here, so I'm just letting you guys know what you can and cannot do, okay? So that's what I'm bringing it out to you.
Well,
So
they're not supposed to, not
you guys cannot film our clerks, okay?
Uh-huh.
You can come, you can film anything out here,
Uh-huh.
but you cannot harass our clerks or
And
something
that's
like
what
that.
Well, we don't mean no harass. We don't
And
mean
I
to harass.
understand that, but what you're doing right now is not right, okay?
That DHS has the right to know
We're
that
getting some help.
all policies, even in federal installations, do not trump the First Amendment.
Can you please not
Of the
record
Constitution. Okay, so anything we can see in public, we can record, and we work with we have lawyers, bro. We work with a law firm, and they take care of it. You know what I mean? Making sure that we all are not pushing the boundaries too much. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to poke the beast. I'm not trying to get anyone paranoid. I'm not trying to. One of the things that I like to do is, for instance, I'll let somebody else get the interaction, and I'll talk to a disgruntled or confused citizen, just like the gentleman that was in his wheelchair. He asked me what I was doing. I told him what I was doing, and he was like, "Ooh." Officer, how's it going? Please don't say get my good side. Please don't say get my good side.
What are you guys recording for?
I was just doing a story.
Story for what?
For our own personal use.
All right. So what's going on?
They just came in, started recording. My clerks didn't appreciate it. And we asked them to leave. And they didn't want to leave. So they had the right. So now we're here.
Okay. We're not trying to stir anybody up. We're trying to be respectful as much as possible. The gentleman said this guy's been cordial since the moment he talked to us, and he's still being pretty awesome, dude. But a couple of the employees inside, they got all scared and paranoid, and that's what we're trying to educate. We're trying to educate that everywhere we go, we're on camera, dude. You know what I'm saying? Everywhere we go.
So this officer,
You don't want them on your property anymore?
No, thank you.
Okay. Guys, you guys gotta take off. All right?
So is this a lawful order?
Yes, you've been trespassed from the area.
so you're trespassing us from a public space?
Just the taping. We don't appreciate it. We didn't ask for it. We didn't
Okay.
condone to it. We
So the poster 7 that all the post office has that indicates that we're allowed to film in the lobby, and the Department of Homeland Security declassified memo of 2010 that was issued to every government facility, including the post office, that allows us to film in a publicly accessible area. You're negating and just say you're going to trespass us?
don't even want to answer that, honestly.
As long as
Well,
we're-
before you
we have a
trespass
we have a
us,
DHS memo that says that we're allowed to do what we can do, as long as we don't violate anybody's rights, as long as we don't film anybody's personal information and stuff like that.
I'm a little late to the party, but yeah, you're correct. As long as you're not obstructing
Right.
business operations,
right,
you guys
and
are
we're
good.
not.
the information we received, which is why we're here, was that you guys were harassing customers and keeping
Okay,
people
well,
from doing their
okay,
business.
then I want to file a false police report on that individual that we were harassing people. We have the video. We're not harassing anybody. So you want to do that? You want to do that documentation of a false police report?
No, because it would be up to their perception if they think that you're harassing someone. So that's not exactly a
Well, perception is one
The
thing.
an
only person
opinion.
that seemed like he was a little bit disgruntled was a couple of the employees in there, and they addressed us first. So we tried to address them, letting them know that there's no reason to be paranoid.
He's aware. He was in the whole conversation. He was even agreeing of the situation where I was trying to explain of the right of what you just acknowledged, the DHS memo, Poster 7. They didn't want to hear about it. So they're saying, you know, they just cut me off.
You guys aren't breaking any laws by filming.
Well, if
So
we're not breaking
we're-
any laws, then how can you trespass us?
This is something
Answer
you
me
said.
that question, officer.
And I would appreciate it, man, not to be rude or anything, but this is a.
Let him answer.
We're not a, how would I say it? This is a peaceful protest. So having your hand on your gun makes us feel uncomfortable. So if you'd be generous to kind of take your hand off your gun, because this is a peaceful protest, we feel unsafe by you doing that.
Having our hand like that isn't meaning that we're going to use our weapons.
Okay, so let's go back to my question, officer.
We can't exactly put our
Right,
hands
right.
on our hips. That's just kind of a natural place.
Gotcha.
And it also protects if we got people walking behind us.
Right, right.
Come up and grab us.
Okay,
But
so
it's kind of just a
right. So let me just go back to my question, since
Yeah.
you indicated we're not breaking any laws. If we're not breaking any laws, then how are you telling us that we're going to be trespassed?
He hasn't
I-
said that, this gentleman did.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I don't
Okay,
know
this
what,
gentleman did.
I don't know what was going on inside. But
Okay, so then
but
answer
if-
the
Can we get
question,
your
please.
name and badge number?
Let him
Can we
answer
get
the
Can
question.
we get your name and badge number first? Officer, Chief. No, you don't tell that to the judge.
Told me to
If the
find.
judge asks you for your name and badge number, if I have an impairment,
So it's just a cop block thing, basically.
no, this is not a cop block. It's a First Amendment audit.
Right. So
It's
just
a little different.
let's just get to the question, please.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
just
we're-
focus on that.
we're not
You
the
said-
ones
No, let him
who-
finish
who
because he
called, so-
stated. No, let's back to the question. You were told
got a
us that
call
we
that
got
you
no,
guys
no.
were-
I got that. Let me finish the question, and we'll have the cordial conversation. Let one person speak over and not over the other. So you indicated we have to leave
If they
because
don't
we're
want you here-
trespassing. But this officer says we're not breaking the law. So how does that work?
Okay, well, based on the call and the stuff we have in our call,
Right?
they're saying that you're bothering customers, keeping them from going
So
in and out of the
anybody-
business.
Let him finish.
Anybody can call and say what they want to say, and then you guys are going to come hit us up.
We get
That's
it
the
more
problem.
time.
That's the problem here. See, we have proof
But-
that we didn't bother anybody.
Okay,
And
so
now, if you guys,
for example,
so let's make this quick. If you're gonna trespass us, we need to see a supervisor here, because we'll leave if we have to leave if there's a threat of arrest. But then not only is there going to be a threat of arrest, but there's also going to be a threat of a violation of our
We'll
First
take a look at your
Amendment
video if you want us to look at that.
rights. No, I would actually, if you're going to trespass us like you initially stated, then I would like to get a supervisor out here and have him trespass us.
It would be the postal service that'd be trespassing.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
so it's no different if, say, if you have, a house with a front yard, and someone was standing in your front yard, and they don't have to break any laws. You just have to, if you ask them to leave and they refuse to leave, they're
Is that
trespassing
in my grass or on
So
the
that-
sidewalk?
on your grass.
Okay,
Right.
yeah, that's-
So
Well, we're
that's-
not going on private property. That's a true
Right.
statement.
This is public.
So-
We're on a
it's-
public.
it's-
We're on
This is
public.
No, I'm just showing, I'm making the connection here. So that's your private property. If you don't want someone on there, you can ask them to leave, and then we would come out at your request.
But see,
And
this is my
you know,
property.
so well, let me speak.
This is my
We were trying to have a
property, this is
cordial
theirs.
conversation, right?
Okay.
So that would be private property, right? Now imagine a business, Starbucks or something. You could be sitting there drinking your coffee, and they just say, "I don't like that guy."
That's a
I
private
want
business, bro.
Right. So they can ask you to leave.
Sure.
Now, the post office is a little different.
Right.
They can't exactly make you leave if you're not breaking any laws.
Right.
So as long as you're in here just sitting here filming, not harassing customers, and harassing doesn't have to mean like violently going up to people or
Right.
anything like that. If you're interfering with business operations, you're standing in the doorway and people have to walk around
Right.
you to go
Right. Right.
do
Which we
whatever.
weren't doing.
Yeah. So if you're just gonna sit in there and film and not talk to anyone and not interfere with
Then
business
that's fine.
operations, you're fine. So we're not here to arrest people or
Right. Right.
make anything into
Well,
something.
that's exactly
It-
what
it
we
just
were
seems
doing,
like
officer.
You guys are kind of fishing for a response from us,
Well,
and
okay,
we're not trying to do that.
That's the
okay?
misconception. Okay, let me tell you something. Me personally, we're not going to do away with cops. We get a lot of comments that say, F the cops, there's no good cops, nothing like that. I hate that, and I'll tell you why, bro. Because we're not gonna get rid of the police force. Okay? There's no reason. Whatever we say, whatever we do, we're not gonna get rid of the police force. So what we're trying to do is change the misconception, and bring transparency between private citizen and the police officer. See, there's a lot of things that people don't understand. Is you work for us until we break the law, bro.
Absolutely.
You feel me? And that everybody in America needs to
We're
understand.
problem solvers.
Okay, so
someone
check
calls
this out.
us with a problem,
Right.
and we come here to solve it. And not every time that we respond is the person who called going to be in the right.
We get
See
it.
what I mean?
So look,
so
okay,
that's
so
why
check
we're
this
here.
out.
It's not like we just
So
came
a few
and
years ago,
you know what I mean?
a few years ago, without this, you guys, he would have arrested me. But because
Not
no,
necessarily.
check it out. Because he was ready to trespass us right before you came in. He said to leave, so you guys have to leave. See, this gentleman.
Well, maybe he still is.
Okay, so check it out. So that's what we're changing, bro. And we've already made an impact. This is going on from sea to shining sea. We're not part of an organization. It's Americans waking up all over the place, brother. And we're fighting for your rights. You swore an oath, dude, to protect our rights. That's what you need to do, my friend.
That's,
Straight up.
that's why no one's going to jail. We
That's
don't.
right, man.
I don't like to take people to jail.
Dude, I can tell you're a good officer, bro.
I'm only here because someone called,
That-
and when we get here and we get both sides, we make a determination. So at this point, you guys are free to do what you want.
Let me ask you, Officer Shive and Officer Burdock, is it?
Verdict?
Burdick. So we're going to go back inside and film, and I want to know if we come out that you're going to arrest us for trespassing.
No, not if you're not.
No, like I said, you have
Okay,
to be,
that's all I
you have
wanted
to
to
be
know.
interfering with
Right.
the operation.
You want to come in and what? We don't
So-
interfere. You know,
That's
he's
fine.
let me,
So we in this gentleman that called.
right.
I'm
It
assuming
was a
he's the one-
female.
Okay. Well, whoever was standing out here.
He didn't
That
call.
was cool, man.
Okay. Whoever is responsible for making that decision will be made aware. Either we'll go tell him, or this guy here that was out here.
Hey, dude, we would so much appreciate it since they called.
If you'd go in and
if you
educate
go
her.
in-
It's
this
an
is something that
African
he's done
American
great
lady.
on his channel.
Okay.
This is something that I just recently learned how
I mean,
to
you
do.
should know. You guys should know that people just aren't comfortable being videotaped either.
Oh, dude,
because they don't know
hey,
what's
bro,
going
hey,
on.
bro,
Or,
if that was
I have
true,
numerous
then your
encounters
argument
with the
should be
police, and when
legal.
it's all over, they apologize. They go in, they educate them. So we would appreciate it if you would go in and explain to them that what we're doing is perfectly legal, and
Yeah.
then you
No, we
got
will.
okay.
Dude, we'll go in there. We'll go in there and videotape, not the customers, just to prove our point, and we're out of here.
Yeah,
Perfect.
right on.
All right.
You feel me though? On the Google Earth thing? Yeah, your argument, bro, should be with them, not us. We're private citizens, dude. See you guys.
Yes, sir.
So these guys here, as long as they're not interfering with business, I don't know. I know you guys call them.
Liquid perishable, catch hazardous.
Either harassing customers or interfering with operations. But as long as they aren't interfering with operations, people are able to freely walk in and out of the business, and they're not filming any personal information, anything like that. If they want to stand in a corner and
Okay, now these clerks all have name tags on and pictures on.
Customer is ready.
That's personal.
well, it's also
Ready to appeal
Oh,
about
the
open for the
public.
public.
Okay.
See what I mean?
All right.
Good.
So there are certain documents that, you know, if I'm handing to you and it's
Yeah.
just right here, you know, if he's over here like right on top filming it. and
But he has the
stuff
right
like
to
that.
step up in front of right in front of our,
Well, if he's standing right here and I'm a customer, for
Yeah.
example, that'd be interfering.
yes.
If he's filming documents as they're passing and stuff, filming employees with their name tags visible, where you know he's wearing a name tag so that any stranger can walk in here. and
it's
view it.
for the
See what I mean?
public.
Right.
But now, let me ask this question. We had a customer come in when they were here, and the customer was trying to get to him, and he wanted to keep him on camera, just like he's doing right now. And I asked that he let the customer get in there and take care of their business. Now, when we all are trained, they train us to protect the customer's privacy.
Right.
Now, we have customers that walk through that door and see them with these cameras, and they turn around and walk right back out. Now, what would that be?
Well, I mean, the camera in and of itself isn't. So if I'm sitting here and I've got like a swastika shirt on, you know, and someone walks in and they're like, "Ooh, that looks like a creepy dude," and they walk out, you know,
Yeah, that's labeling.
you know what I mean.
okay.
So So it doesn't really matter the reason for why someone might be offended or
With the
scared
cameras.
off. If it's a camera or a logo on my shirt or just my hairstyle,
Okay.
you know, someone walks in and they're like, I don't feel comfortable with that,
So-
and they
so-
leave. That's one thing. But now if that same guy with, you know, the crazy hair or something is standing in front of the door and not letting people come
Then
in,
that's another
or he's
thing.
standing here and like looking at people's personal information, that's a different story. So
Okay, so-
these guys are free to film as long as they're not
Under the First Amendment.
right, as long as they're not
Talking
interfering
to our
with anyone.
customers. Do they get to talk to our customers?
They can talk to them as long as they're not interfering with.
While they're inside the
Like
lobby?
if they ask them if they want to talk to them,
They have that
you know,
right.
yeah, but they can't say, "Hey, stop right there! I'm going to talk to you about
Okay.
something."
All right.
You know, you know. So you guys are free to call back if they continue to do anything like that. But in the meantime, if they're just sitting in a corner and filming,
Well, this is not a corner here. This is him got to have
Right,
the
but-
camera right in my face.
I understand, and I know it's uncomfortable
That's
for.
very rude.
I'm not saying it's not rude,
Yes,
but
that
it's
is
not.
very
It's
rude.
not illegal.
Okay, I have no problem with it.
But as soon as we leave, I mean, this isn't like a personal thing. I have no expectation of privacy. I get filmed all the time.
I understand you, and I
so,
appreciate your work.
Thank you. So
I really do.
But as soon as we leave, if a customer comes up and they get too close, we're
Or ask them to get the camera out of their face.
they've already been told the same thing I'm telling you. So you guys are both given the same understanding. So if it continues to be a problem, feel free to call us back. I think, to my understanding, you guys are about wrapping up.
Right. You may want to clarify one thing
Yeah.
with the lady when she asked about if people ask us to get the camera out of their face. You might want to clarify
Because,
that.
I mean, it do get like that sometimes.
Right. As far as being in a public lobby, if they're in line.
Yeah, they have no expectation of privacy when they're in public.
Right.
Okay, so now if he put this camera in somebody's face and
Now, if
they
they're-
tend to get a little hostile because he have the
There
camera.
is some.
Because people do
Right.
act like that.
There is kind of
Right,
a reasonableness factor to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
We're
if
not
he's
putting the
standing-
camera in
if
anybody's
he's-
face.
If he's standing like that, you know, it may make me uncomfortable, and I can
Right.
ask him to stop. But
Right.
ultimately, I'm the one in a public place, and now if he's like really in my face with
I
it,
hear you like
and it's
your
like,
hand.
hey, dude,
Yeah.
You're in my space.
Right.
there's
Personal
kind of a-
space,
kind of
which
a-
we don't do.
kind of a reasonableness factor there as well. So,
You know,
I know
never.
it's uncomfortable.
It's
always being
very
filmed,
uncomfortable and it's rude.
But
But
not saying it's not rude either, but it's
he has his
Their
right.
right to do
He
it.
has First Amendment gives him
So-
the right. Well, I appreciate your
problem.
service and
Yep.
yours too, sir.
you guys have a good
Okay?
one.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can I help you right here?
All right, man. Hey.
What's your name, sir?
Just call me good citizen. Man.
Good citizen.
Yeah, you stay safe.
Okay, thank you. You know, we actually have like required briefing training that we have to do.
Right.
Every shift, every
Right.
6 months. You know, we're on a new shift,
Right.
and then we have a briefing training schedule, and we have to come up with some kind of topic to tell.
Right.
And I've got one coming up. I might do it on this,
Right.
on surveillance and people's right to film and stuff. Giving me ideas, man.
Yeah.
All right.
No, and appreciate you all coming out, staying safe.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank
You guys
you.
have a good All right, guys.
All right. Take care. Sarge, can I get yours? He didn't want to give his name, badge number.
One more time for the record, can I get your name back?
Officer Ball,
What was the number, sir?
716.
Thank you.
Hey, you hear that clap when they turn the car on? What do you think that is?
That's a prisoner in the trunk trying to get out.
Get out of here.